Hey guys, and welcome back to Release the Craftin. Priscilla here with another tarot tidbit for you guys. Right now I'm collaborating with Joy over at Witch Mooncraft on Instagram, so definitely check that out so you can see all the cool posts that we made there. We're doing a week of color magic with the tarot and stuff like that, with some like cool prompts and stuff there. So if you're interested in that, check it out. I have been on a color magic kick, so that's what we're doing. I asked Joy to join me. She said yes. She's amazing. Definitely follow her. Information in the description box below. Now, we have the relevance out of the way. We're back for a tarot tidbit where I thought I would share some of my picks for cards that represent kindness in my tarot deck to help give you guys some ideas and inspiration so that you can pick out a card in your deck that represents kindness to you if you need to work with that sort of energy. So, it took me 3 videos to figure out that I could just pause and then zoom in and not make you guys sick in the process. Professional. First up, on cards of kindness, I think we have the most obvious one, which is the Empress, which of course is super nurturing. It is also a card that also represents abundance, but I think it's more of a sort of idea of abundance as opposed to materialistic abundance, which we'll do tomorrow. But she also represents the act of creation, and I think you need to be creation sort of based in order to be a little bit kind. You have to be able to sort of generate that energy within yourself. You have to tap into your nurturing self, and the Empress card I think is a really excellent pick for that. I think it's the most on the nose pick out of the deck for that, because she's a giving caretaker, and so this is like the general kindness card in the deck. And then we have the Sun, which tells us about like pursuing positive activities and focusing on cycles of joy. So if you're able to find constant like examples of happiness and beauty and sort of things that make you happy and like have that warm fuzzy feeling, the Sun tells us to look for those, because when you can see them everywhere, it's easy to share them with everyone, right? Like you can share the things that bring you joy. You can share joy with others easily when you can see it everywhere, and the Sun card is a really great card to pick if you're looking to sort of see the beauty in the world around you, so that you can be a more kind person going forward. The Sun card. And then next up we have Justice, which may be an interesting one for some of you guys. I think this one is a really great one because Justice not only is decisive, righteous, it also is the card that represents acts of service, right? And if you're looking to be more kind, and maybe you're thinking like, how can I spread a little kindness, a little charity into the world? Maybe you take up volunteering or, just doing something nice for your friends or your family. The Justice card is a really great card because it literally is acts of service. So, if you need sort of that motivation or something to remind you that like this is what you're setting out to do with your day, is be of service in some way to somebody so that you can spread a little kindness in the world, the Justice card is the card that I would turn to for that. I think it's a really great card. It's not a card I work with very often, and I probably should look at it a little bit more. I'm always a little bit surprised when I see it in my deck, like, oh, where did you come from? I forget that it's in there sometimes, but it's in there, and it's a really great card. Also, if you are trying to be more kind, you could turn to this card because it's so decisive. It can kind of sort of clear out like left and right what you need to focus on in order to be the kind of person you want to be. If you're looking to share kindness or experience kindness, it can sort of tell you like, hey, that's not going to work. You're going to do this. This is the great way to go. This is the path you should be on in order to pursue this goal. And then we have the Ace of Cups, which is sort of the emotional experience of kindness, right? Like experiencing it yourself, letting yourself be kind, being kind to yourself, so that you can sort of just like appreciate the emotion that kindness brings up in other people. This also is like the card of sharing. So you can share that kindness easily, especially if you've tapped into it emotionally, because sometimes kindness isn't like what you do for others in the sense of like having to give or take on work or burdens and stuff like that to help other people out. Sometimes it's just listening. And when you feel like you find yourself in that emotional state where you're like emotionally connected, it's easy to just be the listening person that somebody needs. So if someone comes to you to vent, you don't have to comment. You don't have to sort of assume the burden of solving their problems. You can just listen. And I think this is a really great card for that. It's also a really great card for like personal growth. And you might find yourself growing in your pursuit of kindness, especially if you find yourself being more receptive to just being present for other people. So this is a great card for that. Honestly, I could talk about kindness for a long time. I wrote a like blog post in the way long ago, and I had a blog about how kindness is like the best, strongest form of magic. So like this one is really like a big one for me. And then we have the Six of Pentacles, and this is sort of the on the nose kindness, the sharing of resources, prioritizing your needs versus your wants, and sort of being able to dole out what you have available to make those things happen, and sort of fix your priorities. Because if you're taking care of what you need and want, it's easy to bestow kindness to other people. And of course, a sharing of resources doesn't always have to be financial. Like clearly the Pentacles cards are like financial wealth sort of base cards, so you see that a lot here. You're going to see it in this image. They're also the card of earth, so there's like that grounding, nurturing sort of nature behind it. And you can share things that are resources that aren't necessarily money, like food or old clothing. You maybe this card is the card you need to go clean out your closet and donate some stuff to the Goodwill or the thrift. What's happening with my camera? It's probably because I'm moving my hands around a lot. It is because I'm moving my hands around a lot. So, now I'm just watching to see if it changes. So, this is the card that tells you to share what you have in order to sort of find that kindness around you. You can generate that kindness by sharing the things that you have. Maybe you just need to go like declutter your craft supplies and just sort of unload, do some random acts of kindness, send them out to some people who need them. Clean that stuff out so that you can make way for what's meant to happen for you, but also help some other people out who need that help. And then we have the Eight of Cups. And this one's going to be my wild card, I think, in addition to the Justice card, because it looks very sad. It's a very sad looking card, right? And you're like, how is this kindness? And this one is sort of a kindness to yourself. Because, sometimes in order to move on and start something, you have to let things go. Things don't work out. Plans don't play out perfectly. You have to let those go so that you can move forward. And that's one of the biggest kindnesses you can do to yourself. Also, cutting ties. This card is about cutting ties. And, like, I can't stress enough how some people, you can see them like every day, they're like constantly being like battered down by the toxic people around them, and they never let them go, even though it's the best thing that's for them. And this card is telling you like, hey, there might be some stuff you need to let go of, some people you need to let go of, like cut them out. Because that's the biggest kindness you can do for yourself. When you remove toxic people from your life, you're doing yourself a kindness, and sometimes people need a reminder of that. So I think you can pull this card, set it up on your altar, and help it remind you to get rid of the things that are hurting you or holding you back, so that you can be more kind to yourself and you can have a happier life. And then last up, I have the Page of Cups. And this card tells us to explore our intuition and your passion so that you can share something creative with the people you're trying to be kind with. So maybe, if you're a painter, you might want to do just some like really quick little sketchy, painty things, maybe some bookmarks or something, little artist trading cards, so that you can just share that with people to brighten up their day. Because, sometimes people, you don't know what people are going through, and getting like a handmade item just randomly as a gift, like a little greeting card with a little painting or a collage on it or something cool, can change someone's entire like week, month, year. You don't even know what people are going through. They might put your art up somewhere, and that might motivate them to like, look for positive things and find gratitude. So this is a card that you can pull if you're looking to creatively share kindness with other people. Maybe using the stuff that you find to be a kindness to yourself. I don't really know how to describe it. The stuff that you find that brings you happiness is easier to share with other people. And this card sort of tells you, like, hey, the things that make you happy, do those things and share it with other people, and just do that freely for the joy of sharing it, because it's an act of kindness. And then on the reverse side, which again, I know you're like, Priscilla, how can you have too much kindness? You can't, actually. You can't have too much kindness. But what you can do is give too much of yourself away, leaning to sort of having a negative balance where you sort of feel depleted and maybe a little depressed or a little drained. But maybe you find yourself more anxious because you've just given away so much of yourself in the pursuit of trying to be nice or people please and do, like, you know, good things for other people. You gotta knock that off, and you gotta focus on yourself. On the reverse of that, you got to focus on yourself. Do a little time off. Take some self-care time. Focus on the inward versus on what's happening around you. Because you can be kind to everybody else, but you have to be kind to yourself first. And you can't pour from an empty cup. So if you're pouring and pouring and pouring and your cup is empty, eventually it's not going to be kind to you or anybody else you're trying to be kind to, because you have nothing left to give. And that's, you know, what leads to people getting temperamental, irritable. You might be, like, constantly drained and you don't know why. And the Hermit card is basically telling us, like, step back, isolate, take some time, recoup, do nice things for yourself so that you can easily share yourself with others. And then on that same thought thread, we have the Four of Pentacles, which tells us be a little greedy. Like, not just, like, step back and be chill and do self-care, but, like, be a little greedy. Take all your things, take your nice things, take your money, do something really nice for yourself. Do something luxurious, indulge in that. That's your money. You do the things with it. You know, that's your time. You do what you want with it. Be a little bit self-obsessed. And I know you're thinking, like, no, that's not a great sounding thing either, but, like, you should be obsessed with yourself a little bit. You honestly really should. And, you know, like, nobody's gonna love you like you can love you. So this card is telling us, like, do that. Take all your little things back. Take them all back. And then go do it for yourself. And then this way, when you share, you know, pieces of yourself or parts of yourself in your life with other people, and you're trying to pursue those goals of being kind, you know what it feels like. You've already indulged in it, so it's easy to share it with other people. Because it's really, really shitty to be in a situation where you're giving people stuff that you have never had, you've never had access to, and you're just giving it away. You know, it could be something as simple as, like, you know, buying fancy chocolates for everybody at your job because you feel like you have to, like, it's Mother's Day, so you might as well give everybody fancy chocolates, but you never got those fancy chocolates, and you didn't buy one for yourself. That's rude to you. You should get fancy chocolates too. You absolutely deserve them. Also, if you're going to buy them for everyone, you should get some for you. This is what this card is telling you to do. Do something for yourself. Do it for yourself. Because you're worth it. And yeah, that's it for me, guys, on kindness. Catch me tomorrow when we go over green, and make sure that you check out the post on Instagram. Let me know what card you would pick out of your deck for kindness, or if any of these cards really resonated with you. Let me know about that in the comments below, and I will catch you guys all in the next one. I appreciate your faces. Till then, happy crafting. Bye.